start this bitch. I mean, in essence, that is comic book history in that X-Men and mutants in general were considered to be the progenitors of, again, allegorically, mutants were considered to be the black folk of the Marvel universe. And if you look at the history of it, there is some credence to that because they're basically shunned for their appearances and abilities that far exceed everybody else's. So,
you can't dance and dress that up, though.
it's not dressing it up. It's basically, again.
I don't want to. It's making me sound like one of these fake woke people, and I'm like, nah. They was just you're making like in a funny way that black people are less human beings than anybody else. And we deserve to be called a different thing, like a fucking. And I get it, mutants are special to them, but I'm not.
Again.
No, we're not. They're not special. We're no different than anybody else.
That's not entirely true either. Now is it?
It is true. Oh man, why does everybody want to be different? We want to be special. You're all human beings. You're all human beings with all different capabilities.
We are, but I'm only talking about the allegory of comic books in that way. That's it.
You cannot tell me that's not perpetual.
Of course it's perpetual, but I don't think it's inherently wrong either. I don't necessarily think it's right, but I don't think it's necessarily wrong either. I think that that's a very nuanced argument to be made, and you can have it.
It's taking your imagination to another level.
Well, shit, imagination is always going to be taken to another level because it is indeed imagination. It's what's the limits on that? There's no limits on imagination.
Nah, it doesn't have to be limitations on imagination, but it doesn't have to be a correlation either.
No, but correlation doesn't equal causation or something along those lines. And that's why I understand that, but based on the creators and what they've expressed about the characters, that's what it was.
But that's the problem. It's the creators.
Right. So wherever I
don't have a problem with the story is cool, but at the end of the day, it's the creators that have issues.
It's not that they have issues. It's just that this is what their imagination allowed them to come up with in a broader scope. And I think that that's something to be looked into. And honestly, like I said, it's
great without the correlation. I never really even thought about it.
Most people don't. But if you look at the parallels of the X-Men in their, especially again when they were created with it in the 60s, the direct correlation is that this is our Marvel Universe representation of what we see in the real world without having to necessarily cast nothing but black folk. You know what I mean? They're judged and treated differently and treated harshly, and some would say morally messed up because of their differences, whether they be physical, mental, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the traits they have, they're treated as other. And for the longest time in this country, that's how black folk were treated. So, but anyway, welcome to Agree to Disagree. Shaun Wallace, Frank Starfire. What's going on, y'all? What's good? So
I see we starting early with the.
We always start early. We start early. In case any of the viewers are wondering why I'm looking off to my right, it's because that's where my screen is, and I have to look my person in the face.
Look at your compadre.
Yeah, because it's over there, so I can see you there. The camera's here, you're there, so I'm looking there.
Oh, you're looking at me over there.
I'm looking at you, right? I'm looking at you on the screen but the camera is right in my face. So in case
Don't worry, don't worry about me. Don't look at the camera.
yeah, but
Camera's,
that's weird. I can't do
there
that.
you go. There you go. There you go. No, you had it. You had it.
It's
Go
so
ahead.
strange. My eye doesn't do that.
Look at the audience. The
My
audience is
eye
matter. I know that I know that I'm a captivating figure, a captivating human being. I look a certain way, but don't look over here. Just ignore that over there.
Don't look at the person behind the curtain.
This bitch, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm addicted to Monopoly. Been playing Monopoly nonstop for like 3 days now.
That's
This chick just went on one roll all the way to Broadwalk. You know I'm tight, right? You know I'm tight.
I'm trying, I'm trying to teach the kids how to play spades. We were playing Uno the other day. I was like, I'm gonna teach y'all a real card game. I'm gonna teach y'all spades. So basically, I'm gonna teach the kids how to become angry for no freaking reason.
Damn.
Spades gets there.
It is an angry game.
I'm in an ill spades game and got mad because somebody did some dumb shit that they shouldn't have done in the game and made it like reality.
You know what? That's what card games are for. Card games are to get mad. It is like it's like a way of battling in a certain way.
Yeah.
And you got to come out on top, man. It's this harmless object that creates such competition. And
dude, don't act like you ain't never seen a fist fight over spades before, though. I have.
No, straight violence, bro. You ever seen dominoes? Same thing how niggas play. You ever see how niggas act when they with dominoes on?
I don't play dominoes for that very reason.
Yo, this is cards shape people. I don't think kids play enough cards today.
I don't either. And
probably don't.
I've never played poker.
You put a deck of cards in front of them and lose their fucking minds.
I have never played poker in real life. I've only ever played in video games. I have no idea how to actually play poker. So it's very weird. Like I've only ever played in like Red Dead Redemption or something like any game where there's a poker game.
I've played poker in that? You can play poker in Red Dead. I've never played Red Dead Redemption.
What? Great game. Part 2. And honestly, the second one is so much just from a story standpoint and the way they did everything, it just made it that much more interesting because the protagonist of the second one, I think, was just more nuanced than what John Marston was in the first one. But I also think that if you play the second one and then go back to playing the first one, you kind of see how the first one shaped that character's narrative within the game. And I think it's really, really, really dope. And it's well worth playing if you've never played it. But on to this new format we're trying to do with Agree to Disagree. And so I have a couple of questions I'm going to ask. I think you have a couple that you want to ask. So we'll start with one of yours if you have it, and we'll alternate and see where we get.
Okay, so I'm coming heavy on this one. My goal with this segment of this game or whatever we're doing here is to get you canceled. That's my job.
Get me canceled. I'll get more viewership. Oh, by the way, like, subscribe, and share. Do all that right now. If you want to hear more of this malarkey, please hit that subscribe button right there. It's right
there. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'm coming heavy on this.
All right, bring it on, brother.
But I want to ask you a question. Do you think gender identity is an identity crisis?
I think gender identity is a mental illness. I think that, and I want to try and make this as clear as possible. Okay? Number one, I don't care what you are. I don't care. None of that matters to me. I don't care about your pronouns. Don't tell me. I don't give a shit. You can tell me your name. whatever your name happens to be. If your name is Tommy and you want to be called Susan, then by golly, I'll call you Susan. I will respect you enough to address you as the way you want to be addressed. It does not mess with me in any way, shape, or form to say that or to, recognize your feelings on the matter. However, feelings are not facts. Let me say that again. Feelings are not facts. Okay? To my thought process and the way I look at things, there are two genders. Everything else is just a way for you to be gay. And if that's what you want to be, so be it. No skin off my neck to treat you like that. And here's the funny thing. I don't have to agree with you to treat you with respect, decency, and kindness. I don't. And I think that that's something that's lost in this entire narrative of gender identity. I don't have to agree with you to treat you with respect, decency, and kindness. However, I don't have to agree with you. It's that simple. I think that there are, to my reckoning and the way science has explained it to me, and whatever the case may be, there are two genders. And everything else is whatever you want it to be. But
those are actual facts.
Right. My acknowledgement of your feelings.
Well, hold on, real quick, before you start, before you continue. I'm sorry to cut you off, but the fact is that there are two sexes, male and female. Gender apparently is a spectrum.
No, I don't. Okay. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. There are two genders, and every human being starts off in the womb as female until the Y chromosome overtakes and you transform into a
nuts drop out. Until her nuts drop out.
Pretty much. Now, again, I don't have to agree with you to treat you with respect. I don't have to agree with you to treat you with decency and kindness. I think that, number one, the trans debate or anything that has to do with gender, sex, anything of that nature, none of that should be taught to any child at all. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know about it, you're not going to think about it. Kids should be kids. Leave kids alone. Don't force anything on them. And I mean anything. Don't force religion. Don't force gender, politics, and identity. Don't force, any ideology on a kid. Just let a kid be a kid. And as they get older and develop their brain and they become more cognizant of everything, then you can start answering those tough questions. I think that no child should ever have to worry about what their gender is when they're fucking 5, 10, 15. You know what I'm saying? When you're an adult and you want to transition or, declare what, you're something other than what you are, cool. You've had an opportunity to actually grow and realize, hey, you know what? I don't feel comfortable as this. I feel more comfortable as this, X, Y, Z. Cool. No problem. But if you are a child, that should not even matter at all. I don't think it should ever be taught to kids. I don't think it has any place in school. I don't think it has any place in...
It is rampant in school, from
what I hear, it is too. I never see it, but I also am not in school anymore. Because when we were in school, that was not a thing.
No, it wasn't a thing.
It was not a thing. But neither were peanut allergies and gluten allergies. So, what I mean? It's like all this. These are new things. These are new ideas, and I get it. And again, I understand.
Hold on. We didn't have peanut allergies?
As far as I knew. Did you ever know anybody with a peanut allergy when you were a kid?
I mean, I only seen peanut allergies in the movies. I never seen nobody with an actual peanut allergy.
But that tells me that it's a part of the zeitgeist only because it's part of popular culture, not so much that people actually are afflicted by it. And then, so does that mean that peanut allergies are only prevalent now because it's a part of it's been pushed into the psyche in that way, much like gender identity? Again, what you are does not matter to me as long as you are, much like sex and things of that nature. If you are a consenting adult, do whatever you want. But if you are a child, it should not be anywhere near you. Now, I've seen bisexual characters in this show called Owl House. No problem with that. I've seen things in cartoons nowadays that definitely should not be in cartoons. But I remember the Powerpuff Girls, one of their main villains was a trans devil named him. Most people don't remember that. And if I can, I'll throw up a little picture of him so y'all can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But that was like one of the earliest representations I ever saw of a trans person in popular culture. I'm sure there is more, but that's the one that sticks prevalent in my mind because it was marketed to children. So I don't think it should be foisted upon kids in any way. And you can, we whether or not I'm right or wrong, we can certainly have the debate, but this is my opinion. And these are my feelings and thoughts on the matter. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't think I should be vilified or be called a transphobe or anything of that nature because of how I feel. Because again, I don't have to agree with you to treat you with respect, decency, and kindness. I don't. So that's my thoughts on the matter.
So but are they tripping? Are they having a like outright out in public crisis? Like are they okay?
That I couldn't say. I mean,
that's what I'm asking. Like if you're questioning your if you have a gender identity issue, is that not a
I think it's a
mental. Is that not a crisis?
It may very well be.
Are you not bugging out in public?
I genuinely think it may very well be a mental health issue. Gender dysphoria is a real thing. I understand that. But I also think that it's the popular thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's popular because
maybe it's just not a crisis. Maybe it's not a crisis. Maybe we're blowing it out of proportion.
It might be,
but you're right. It gets to a point when children are involved.
That's when we start. That's when I have a problem with it. Like, I don't think Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are wrong for allowing their son, daughter to transition, but I also don't think they're right.
Gabrielle is wrong.
Why is she wrong and not Dwayne Wade? It's his kid.
Because she is the one that is encouraging this.
I mean,
and because look at it. If Dwayne Wade's daughter isn't doing what she's doing, when would you see Gabrielle Union? What work is she doing? Why are we seeing her? Why is she at the parties and doing all this stuff?
We're not going to take Gabrielle Union's career and just sweep it under the rug. Gabrielle Union is a very successful actress. Gabrielle Union is a very good actress, by my opinion. I think she's done some wonderful work. And I genuinely love her as a person and as an actress. I think she's amazing. But again, I don't agree with her in this regard. My thought process is this is a child. Therefore, they haven't lived a full enough breadth of life to be able to make such a drastic and life-altering decision that can affect the rest of their life. Now, is it
All I see is exploitation. This is exploitation.
It could you could argue that, but I don't necessarily. I won't go so far as to call it exploitation. I think it's just they are listening to their child and doing what a loving parent would do. They're accepting their child for who they wish to be. And whether or not I agree wholeheartedly that that is a good thing. If you got to think about it. When we were kids, our parents didn't want to hear nothing we had to say. We had no opinions. You're a kid. You don't have an opinion. Shut up. That's basically what we were told. You're a child. You have no opinion. Shut the fuck up.
No, you're a child. You don't know any better.
Right.
I don't want to hear you because you don't know any better.
But I don't necessarily agree with that thought process either. You know what I'm saying? Because I largely believe that, a lot of my growing up would have been a lot better for me and for everybody else if people had just listened to me when I was a fucking kid. But because I was a kid, nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? So
because you're supposed to be spending your time listening.
But that's not always true.
But a lot of times we're led to believe that we're surrounded by wiser people.
But that's not always true.
It's not. It's not true. It's rarely true. You rarely will speak to an elder that will give you significant knowledge. A lot of times you run into a lot of people talking a lot of bullshit.
Yes. And I think that a lot of times what that happens is, we were conditioned as kids to believe that you respect your elders, listen to your elders. But I think it's something that I heard on the Helter Skelter record once. I listened to my elders until I found out they were stupid. And sometimes a lot of what we were taught by our elders back then was traditions and things of that nature that were passed on to them that may very well have been rooted in dumb shit. So and in their times, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about it, I remember I had this question on another podcast I used to do called The Black Codes. And it was like, do you agree with interracial dating? And I'm like, well, I don't exist without it. So how could I be against it? You know what I'm saying? But
Why would you be against it?
Well, because without my black ancestor falling in love with my white ancestor and getting together, I don't exist. You know what I'm saying? So I can't knock who you love. And that's why I don't have a problem with people who are with gay marriage or anything of that nature. I don't have a problem with any of that. Love who you love. I believe that wholeheartedly. Whoever you love them. For whatever reason it is. Love them. You know what I'm saying? But don't force your ideology onto children in that way. Give them the time to grow and acclimate and actually shape their minds before you just foist things on them. I feel the same way about religion. Like, you should never. I don't think babies should be baptized into a religion before they have any cognizant idea of what they're actually signing up for. You know what I'm saying? I was baptized at 8. Couldn't tell you what it meant. Couldn't tell you what it means. I don't know what the hell an Episcopalian is. You know what I'm saying? But I know that I was baptized into it and I'm supposed to follow the tenets of that. But to me, I don't want to. That's fucking stupid. So I don't. But I'm looking at it as my adult self having learned and grown greater knowledge about history and theology and things of that nature. So whether and again, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but these are my opinions and I'm entitled to them. Kanye's
Yes, yeah, this is just as much as anybody's allowed to call themselves whatever they want to call them and live their life however they want to live it. We are allowed to think however we want to think.
right.
And you
But
can
again,
however you want the thought and expect somebody to respect it. We can give our thoughts and stuff on something, and I don't care what you think about it.
right. And again, if I'm wrong, present me actual facts and I can change my opinion based on facts presented. But if you don't give me actual facts and all you're telling me is, well, this is how I feel. Okay, well then I want to identify as a rich white man. Doesn't work that way, you know what I'm saying? Like but that's how I want to identify because they seem to get all the perks. You know what I mean? And
What's stopping me? You can
the fact that I still look like
a lot of people make a joke about it, and it's like, yo, you really can though
you probably
identify,
could, but I don't.
and exploit it for whatever you want to exploit it for, if you can.
But I don't.
And when you make money, you will be lord over because
right.
anything that generates money is success.
and there that is. So then I guess the question is it a money grab? Is it something designed to is it something that's designed to warp our children and to make them demonic or devilish or anything like that? No. And if you believe that, you're a fucking idiot. What I do think is that
that's my problem.
Yeah, I think
the whole thing. It's like, yo, you can handle those kind of things privately behind closed doors. And,
right.
When the time is right, when someone is of age and they've thought it through before you go putting everybody, because it's not just you know what I'm saying, you got to deal with everybody that's associated with you has to deal with it.
Exactly. And that doesn't always, and that's not always something that is good. But again, I always look at it from this perspective. Does a child know anything about murder before they learn the story of Adam and Eve? I mean, of Cain and Abel? No. They don't know anything about the evil of murder until you actually put the inclination in their mind by teaching them the story of Cain and Abel. So, should that be taught to kids? And I say no. I think that things like that should be given to your mind as you grow and as you learn more. And then as you start to question these things, is it more beneficial to do it then? And
this is who I blame for good and evil.
The X-Men?
Comic books.
Comic
books have raised kids and taught them what good and evil actually is. You get to see what somebody is capable of when they're doing bad.
Yeah.
I don't think you would think to do that naturally. I hope we aren't.
But it's not just comic books, it's media in general. The hero's journey is prevalent throughout all of media. And I think the hero's journey is what we're all on. We all have those periods where we set off on our individual quest and we face adversity throughout it. We usually get, fall victim to all sorts of different things that kind of shape your mind and lead you down a path. And it's only when you really get a chance to really think on it and meet new people and new versions of people and different people that you gain a broader perspective of things that allows you to come back into the light. So I think media is rife and prevalent with that type of thinking and that type of concepts. So, and I think even this gender identity is a form of, you could argue that gender politics is a form of indoctrination. But I feel like the same way as raising a conservative or a liberal, and I say both of those with air quotes, but that's forced ideology. You know what I'm saying? And I think that being forced to choose one side or the other kind of leaves us all worse for wear, because it basically constantly puts us against one another. It doesn't allow us to have nuanced conversation, and it doesn't allow for people to have a broader perspective. So I think that that's I think that it's going back to my original statement, feelings aren't facts. You know what I'm saying? I think a large swath of this country is being led astray by media to believe that these are the norms, when in reality it's just a small microcosm of individuals who are feeling this way. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. There's only 1%, I think 1% of the United States population that is trans, like 1.3%. That's not a lot of people. It's not a lot. So
it's not at all.
Not at all. But they'll have you believe. But the narrative is that they're taking over, and it's
they want you. It's led us to believe that they're everywhere,
and that's not true. It's not true. And again, whether these kids are being taught this in school, I don't know. But should it be taught in school? No. These are conversations you need to have with your parents and family in the privacy of your own home. But it should be taught with respect and decency, not with a bent towards hatred and treating people as other. You know what I'm saying? Everybody deserves love and respect. It ain't just, you know what I mean, straight people who deserve love and respect. Trans people deserve respect and kindness. Gay people deserve respect and kindness, and everywhere in between.
I think it went too far already. You named like 3 different types of people when it's people that deserve love and respect.
Exactly. And that's why do we keep breaking this up? Why do I have to call you? Why does it have to be black people that need this? Why is it white people that are getting treated like this? Why is it gay people that are treated like this? We are all people. It doesn't go any deeper than that. It doesn't have to.
And we're all different variations of people.
Right. But
you said black people, I can't just love you because you're black. There's a lot of black people I don't like.
Facts.
There's a lot of black people that I feel like I have to like. And then there's some that I like. And there's white people that I love.
There's a lot that I don't.
Nothing like calling a white person double. Nothing like it.
and that should be okay. And you shouldn't be led that because
it just gets weird to a point like, we're all just people. We all piss and shit the same fucking way.
Some of us just sit down to do it. That's all. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But so I guess what would we say? Agree to disagree, or agree to disagree? I think we can both.
No, listen. I agree with you. I agree with you.
You know what I mean? Like, and again, no, this is not shade to anybody. This is not homophobia, transphobia, or any type of phobia, because let's look at if you break down that word, phobia means fear of something, and I don't fear any of that shit. I don't care enough to fear it. I think whatever you want to be it, as long as you are a consenting adult. But if you are a child, then the conversation doesn't even need to be had. Just live your life as a kid until you...
Hold on. They started it by... you fear it because you actually love it. It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't understand the concepts that they always purport of these things, but...
yeah, the phobic aspect is like, you really love me, so you scared of me.
Right.
What?
So, okay.
You can't combine the two. Like, which one?
But I can spread love. I can show you love without having to agree with what you think. You know what I'm saying? I do not have to agree with you to treat you with respect, decency, and kindness. You know what I'm saying? I also don't have to agree with you to just not want to fuck with you at all. And that's my choice. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna sit here and be made to feel like I'm wrong simply for having a difference of opinion. Because I'm not. I'm allowed to have that. You know what I mean? But I also can't take my difference of opinion and then use that as a reason to treat you like garbage. I'm not going to do that either.
I hate to break it to you, dog. I don't think you're ever gonna get canceled. I think you're too. I
probably
think you're
won't
too.
because I'm too nuanced.
I think you're too calculated.
I try to be fair and balanced, and that does not lead to cancellation. Although, if you'd like to try, leave it in the comments. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Let me know what you think right down there in the comments. So what we're going to do is we're going
to start a petition. We're going to send everybody to that website to cancel Frank.
Start a GoFundMe. Cancel Frank Starfire. If that actually happens and it makes money, I want the money.
Don't get me started. I've been waiting for a cause.
I need a cause. But we'll come back with our next question in the next segment right here on Agree to Disagree with Shaun Wallace, Frank Starfire. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back, y'all. So I have a question, and I think it kind of goes back to the heart of where we're from. I'm watching My Expert Opinion the other day. Shout out to Math Hoffa. It's a fantastic show. And he has Ja Rule as a guest, right? And so they asked him, do you ever see a time where you and 50 Cent will squash the beef? And I found that to be a very interesting question. Now, Ja's response was, well, how come y'all ain't asking him this shit? You know what I mean? Which is a fair question. But do you think it's ever possible that Ja Rule and 50 Cent could ever, should ever squash their beef?
All right, so I'm gonna answer that in 3 parts.
Okay.
Could they? Hell no. Hell no. You want to know why?
Why?
Because 50 ain't never coming off of whatever he's on. He's never coming off of that.
You don't think?
On top of that, he has a real legitimate issue with these people. He don't come off of shit that ain't really it don't really matter that much. This shit, this is not your everyday rap beef or none of that stuff. These dudes really got a problem. They don't like each other. Or matter of fact, he don't like them. He really don't like them. So the fact that, or the idea, or for Ja's retort to be, why y'all ain't ask him? We've been asked him. He just hasn't changed his answer so long that he's not changing his answer.
Been over 30 years. Don't you think it's about time to just let that shit go? They're both majorly successful. They both have their own lane that each of them is in. You know what I'm saying? What is the point of continuing this beef for? What is the point? At this point, what's the point?
Let me walk it down. So, could they? No. Would they? No. 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 It wouldn't even hypothetically work. It would these are 2 totally different dudes.
Yeah.
Ja's a very nice guy. Ja is not a mean guy. He's never. It's like we've all fantasized about our rappers being overly aggressive and hard and tough.
I don't see
And
that.
and Ja has always been so energetic and that he kind of looks the part, but has never really acted, been capable of playing that part. He's a really nice guy.
I believe that.
50 is a nice guy, but there's something there. There's just something there that ain't like everybody else, bro.
I think 50 Cent is the biggest troll on planet Earth. I think he mastered the art of trolling before trolling was a thing.
He be trolling sometimes, but sometimes he just be really be how you feel. I genuinely think he really just be feeling that way and has stood on this position like, I don't gotta apologize to none of y'all. I don't gotta move the way that none of y'all move. I know what he's living in his space and very comfortable there. And you can't take him out. And Ja and Murder Inc. have done nothing to like change his position. So I don't think it would even look right. Like, say them two dapped it up on stage, that shit wouldn't look right, dude. It wouldn't look. And if they made a song, it would.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't think? Listen, you don't think a record with 50 Cent and Ja Rule would be dope?
No,
dude. Yo, but I'm also one of those people that thinks that an entire album of 50 Cent in the Game would be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Because I love the Game and I love 50, and I love the chemistry that they have together. I think it would be a phenomenal album if given half the opportunity.
You can't question their chemistry. You can't question their chemistry. You can question Ja and 50s. Like, you're looking and this. So now this goes to I said coulda, woulda, should they? Should they for the culture? Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. It would be the end of beef as we know it. This is the last of a dying breed. I don't think anybody would have a problem with anybody after this. Because these two hold on to something that that over time, so many people have overcome the issues that they've had with each other in hip hop and in black culture within itself. So for two Queens dudes from different sides of Queens, but actually still the same side of Queens, to come together and just squash it and move on and possibly get money together, make music together. Yeah, it would make sense. Like, people would eat that up.
But you don't see it actually happening.
No. Hell no, man. You know who we talking about?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I agree.
Like you said, 100%. Him and Game would be it would be a monster record. Them two together. It would be it's kind of like a marriage, like a perfect marriage. Yeah. They're two styles, they're two star power. And what it would bring along with it, because it would bring back you couldn't help but bring back Banks. You can't help but see a fucking G Unit tour. You can't, like, so many things could correlate with them two meshing. It just won't happen. 50 is like, yo, I don't need you. You can't make me any more money than I'm gonna make on my own, because that's how he feels. That's how most Queens niggas feel. We hold grudges because we don't need you. Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'll get it on my own before I bow down to you. I'm not gonna forget what you did. I'm not gonna forget it. We don't even forgive that well.
I mean, don't say all.
You know how we get down. We don't really forgive that well.
Listen, do you think LL and Ice-T ain't got no beef no more? LL and Kumo D ain't beefing no more. You know what I'm saying? Nas and Jay-Z can do it. So, you know what I mean? Like, again,
Oh,
for the culture, I would love to see it. But
did you hear? Did you hear 50's gonna be on Nas's new shit?
No, but that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, that's happening. That's happened already.
That's dope. That's dope.
This is the most you're gonna get out of 50. He'll
Yeah,
apologize for what he'll apologize for what he's done. That's it. If you did something to him, nah, you're not getting that back. You're not getting that back. I'm not giving that to you. That's I know that for a fact. So we could fantasize about that all day long. I'm mad Jai responded the way he responded.
I mean, but that's a fair answer to
because
the question.
You know this nigga's not going. He's not playing with you. He's not playing with you. So fuck you too. That's my approach to him because I know that's how he feels.
Well,
anytime you bring him up, it would be fuck you too. I'm not gonna sit here and play this game like, well, because I think that he thinks it would be cool if we were cool.
I think
you genuinely feel that.
Have you seen this? The clips from My Expert Opinion with Ja and Math Hoffa and them. Have you seen any of the clips from that?
I can't stand to look or listen to Ja for 2 seconds.
Really?
I'm not gonna watch an interview of Ja Rule. No.
Why don't you like Ja Rule? The fuck he do to you?
What? Ja Rule is the corniest dude to ever touch the mic. He's the corniest dude. He's the corniest dude on TV. I can't entertain it, dude. It's cringy.
I don't think that's necessarily
true. It would be cringeworthy to watch him do an interview, especially in Math Hoffa's joint. In a barbershop with a bunch of niggas he don't know, I'll be scared for him.
Like there's some people I think they're all cool. They know each other. Like honestly, My Expert Opinion is one of my favorite podcasts. It really is. That Drink Champs, of course, Joe Rogan, the Church of Joey Diaz, Joey Diaz joint. Like I got a few joints I really, really enjoy.
I like Hoffa's because he brings out his environment brings out something in the people that come there that you ain't gonna get nowhere else.
Well, it's a barbershop, so it's naturally that setting and environment alone is conducive to conversations, even uncomfortable ones. So I think that
I think his questions have gotten real like shade roomish.
Well, no, I don't see that either.
He wanted like it used to be about a lot of like authentic lyrical or cultural things, cultural impacts that his guests have had. He seems to delve into rumor mill a little too much for me.
But I mean,
hypotheticals
too. And what I mean, you kind of have to, because if you don't address some of these rumors, or quote unquote rumors, you never get to the bottom of the story. You know what I'm saying? You don't get the real story. I think that and it's because it would be different if the people weren't sitting there with him while he's asking these questions. Like if you're asking Tony Yayo about rumors about 50 Cent, that's stupid. But if 50 Cent is there or Tony Yayo's there and you're addressing rumors that you've heard and he can dispel them or confirm them right then and there, that's a powerful thing. And I think Math Hoffa and them do a great job of doing that. I think they genuinely do a good job of that, and this interview was no exception. I think that they allow for you to say what's on your mind and say it with your chest. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, I like the guests that he has on there. Yeah, Allen Iverson on there. Recently.
Yeah, Derrick Rose on there recently, and Coi Leray on there recently, and Loon on there recently.
I didn't see the Coi Leray one. She's growing on me. She's growing on me too. She was a little annoying at first, but she has grounded herself and has
to go back to a previous episode of ours, I finally saw what a Sukihana is.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have, the whole, I happened to catch on Twitter that somebody had leaked one of her OnlyFans things, and I was not impressed. I was quite disgusted by it. And
well, do you remember the conversation that we had?
yes.
The question at hand was something like that being sexually assaulted for getting kissed when the type of things this person is capable of and unleashes out to the world.
And it's still, and I still have the same opinion that I don't care if you're in porn, stripping, or whatever, you still have the right to expect that nobody's going to assault you. You should still have the right to bodily autonomy and not have your whatever promiscuity you might have be the deciding factor on whether or not you become sexually assaulted. You still should not be. I don't care. Like,
and I think she should expect shit like that to come down.
Man, like honestly,
I wouldn't do it, but there's a lot of people out there not like me.
No, there's a lot
of. I think people like her love people like me. Because I'm going to love you for who you are, what you represent, and I'm also going to respect you as a woman,
right?
As a human being. But there's not a lot of people like me.
No, there are not.
A lot of people are weirdly.
It's funny because I was trying to tell somebody the other day, like, as time has gone on, I've become more of a feminist. You know what I'm saying? Because I think about who I was and who I am now, and honestly, it comes from having more than my share of female friends, having nieces, my sister, my mom, now stepdaughters, and things like that. Like, I can't imagine me, like, in all honesty and fairness, I look back on who I was, and I'm not fond of that cat and the way he treated women. Let's put it like that. And so I know better.
You know.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I was always the best to women. I was not. But I also,
as you get older, you get wiser.
Yeah, right.
There's a better way to act.
There is a better way to act. But as far as that question, I guess we can agree that Ja Rule and 50 Cent probably won't. They probably can't, but they probably should.
They should. But they won't. That's not happening. Could it happen? I don't even think it could happen. I wouldn't even and see, that's the thing. And it's like he addressed, so like you say, he addressed it, he brought it up or whatever, but why are you putting Ja in that situation for? Because you made Ja look like a bitch. Like 50 can use that on him.
That's not what I got from the interview at all. Honestly, what I got
was I mean, just from that question. I didn't see that.
I mean, even from the question, it
was like you gonna have 50. You could have 50 looking at this as another attempt to just embarrass this dude, because that's what he loves to do. Stop messing with. Stop.
Can't be embarrassed anymore.
But it's the creation of the story, the creation of the narrative, or the perpetuation of it. I'm pretty sure Ja Rule came on there with what we would have loved to go on there and not have mentioned 50 Cent one time.
Well, that's never going to happen. If it's Ja, like, they're intrinsically linked together for the rest of their existence.
If I was to ever interview Ja Rule, I would never ask him about 50 Cent.
Yeah, but then you're doing a disservice to your journalistic integrity.
I'm not. I think you would be doing a service to the person you are covering, because they are more than that story.
I agree. Well, yeah, but that's true. But at the same time, again, they are intrinsically linked no matter what. I think, for throughout the end of time, Ja Rule and 50 Cent will be forever linked together, whether we want them to be or not.
But unfortunately, it's in vile. and,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's
But
not healthy. It's not healthy. It's kind of toxic. It's kind of
oh,
they're
without
linked in toxicity.
without question.
You don't need to link that kind of stuff together.
What's your next question, brother?
Oh, we got another one.
Yeah,
Man,
no.
ah, this wasn't as easy as I thought it was. So I had to really dive into something. So I'm gonna get personal here.
All right.
And I don't think it's anybody's business, but I would. Do you still watch porn?
Woo! Intriguing query. Uh, the short answer is no. The longer answer is nowhere near as much as I used to. But the truth is, since I'm in a relationship, I don't watch. When I'm in a relationship, I don't watch. And that's mainly because why do I need to? I can do porn acts at home with my lady. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to watch porn for that reason.
You can't do porn acts with your lady.
I don't mean but what I basically mean is, what I'm saying is, short answer is no, because I don't need to. But there was a time I watched porn 12, 13 times a day.
That's a good number.
I mean,
that's an honest number. I can believe that. you ain't got shit on me, but you all right. That's a nice number.
I mean, you know what it is? Again, it comes down to just the way of thinking. What I recognize about the porn industry, having seen it sort of firsthand, is that it thrives on the exploitation of women. Hands down. There's no amount of belief in me that makes me believe that every porn actress, for the most part, hasn't been abused in some way, sexually assaulted in some way, victimized in some way, and that has led to them going into the porn industry. I think it's rife with drugs and alcohol. I think it's rife with mental illness and instability. And even now that there are more women as producers and in charge of these porn sets and everything, I don't think that makes it that much better. So I don't think it's the most conducive form of entertainment. And it's readily available to anybody because, you got to think about it. When we was kids, you had to get a video or a DVD or hope you flicked to a channel that showed you a movie. Now, Pornhub is free. Who's paying for porn anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, who?
A lot of people.
Why? No, a lot of people, but why? What's the point?
Well, honestly, you don't pay for porn, so you don't know what you're missing.
Yes,
apparently.
Oh well, yeah.
If you're having such if you're having such a great time with free porn, imagine what kind of porn that's out there that you pay for.
I mean, true.
It's probably amazing. I don't do it. I don't pay for porn. So for it to be $1 billion industry, something's up.
Somebody's paying for it, yeah, definitely. And but it's also the same thing. I don't go to strip clubs.
Did you carry what you with your experience? Was it an addiction?
Yes, wholeheartedly. Yes, yeah, it was. I don't. What I was addicted to was the dopamine coming from watching two people have sex. And a lot of it, and I can't lie, I think I think a large part of my mentality when it comes to gay relationships even stems from my watching porn, because I know I'm not homophobic. I may have used to have been. I'm not now. But I largely feel like I'd have an easier time accepting my daughter telling me she was gay as opposed to my son. And that comes from the fact that I watched a lot of girl on girl porn. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's my thought process. Like I would be more comfortable with my daughter telling me that she's gay as opposed to my son telling me he's gay. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't have any biological kids, so I ain't got to worry about none of that shit. But that's my thought process.
That's wild, because I just had a conversation with somebody, and she's like, she's part of the queer community because she's bi, and I'm like, no one cares. No one cares. You being bi, and if I was bi, it would be a totally different ballgame.
Different thing, yeah.
Because it's like that with most people. If their daughters turn lesbian or start liking girls, no one care.
No.
I think the real issue, the real battle is with men.
Yeah. And that's a stigma that may need to be addressed on a larger scale, but
it does, because I don't understand, like, I don't know how you can avoid, like, when you watch porn, if you're not watching straight girl on girl porn, it means you don't have an issue looking at a penis. And looking at a penis do its thing and watching it come, you can't tell me you're not looking at it. So you can't tell me that a lot of homosexuality hasn't even been triggered by porn.
Probably. Now, and I'll ask you a question to balance off of that one. Do you think it's gay if you watch transsexual porn, where the transsexual person is having sex with a woman? Or is that just still guy on girl sex? Is just there's extra titties involved?
I mean, is it gay? I mean, there's a dick on the screen.
Yeah, but it's being put inside a vagina.
Still a dick on the screen. You have a problem? That means you don't have a problem with dicks, one or the other.
I mean, should anybody? I mean, look. I think penises are weird looking anyway. But is it? But do you think you have some homosexual tendencies if you're able to watch a transsexual have sex with a woman?
What? What do you? My wife is making faces.
Obviously, she thinks there's something wrong with that.
I mean, it is. I mean, how could it not be?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I don't think it's. To me, I don't think it's. I don't know. I would.
It's not gay because you're watching a transgender. It's gay because you're watching. I mean, you're watching. You're watching a dick. There's still a dick there. I know they're trying to look like a girl and everything like that.
Right, but they're still putting a penis inside a woman, so it's still technically just porn with added boobies.
Oh, okay.
So I don't. Again, I'm asking.
Is it only gay if there's no women involved? Is it only gay if there's no women involved?
I would say probably yeah. It's probably yeah. I would have to imagine so. Yes, I would have to imagine so.
I think it has to be. It has to be. It may not be to an extreme, that you are like 100% gay because there's a dick on the screen, but I think you might have to adjust it. Maybe it's like 10%.
So
It's kind of
there's a little queer in you.
there's a dick there. If a guy pulls out a dick in front of you, you're gonna get a little weird. Unless even when you're in the locker room, you don't want to see that shit.
No, you don't. But
You really don't want to be near it. You don't want to look at it.
I don't know if you want to answer this question in front of your wife, but have you ever ran a train on a girl?
Have I ever run a train on a girl?
Have you ever been?
I have run a train on a girl. I've done many male on male like male, two guys and a girl.
You spit roasted girls is what you're saying.
Yeah, many of those.
Okay. So obviously you saw another penis within the act of doing that.
Yeah.
All right. So do you think that you have some latent homosexual tendencies, or was it just?
I think it's a little fluid. I understand I'm attracted to females, and I'm just not opposed to penis as much as I guess a heterosexual should be labeled as. But I don't know. I make dick jokes. I make dick jokes. I've seen dick. I watched dicks do their thing on screens. I like the percentage might need to be discussed a bit.
You're right. It might need to be discussed a little bit, But that's
can you like boom. To be straight means you don't. Like you only fuck with the opposite sex,
right? Unless you're like pansexual or something. I don't know all the definitions. I don't know. I don't know.
But if you're straight, it means you 100%. You don't, you won't, and you couldn't, and
that's it. Yeah.
Just like if you're gay, gay women don't like when women play both sides.
Right.
If we're going to be in this relationship, if you're going to be, a lot of them I've seen, if you've been in a relationship and you've geared towards guys a little bit, they'd be like, nah, I'm not fucking with you.
Which is fair.
You're not where I'm at or whatever.
Right.
So it's like, where's the spectrum start? When do you start calling yourself bi? Because you're
right, and that's
like the 35% number or something like that.
That is fair. And again, this is gender.
But I'm saying this could be watching porn elevating your homosexuality to the point where you're now bi.
It's possible. I don't, but again, this is an answer that I don't really know the answer to. But I've often, but to be fair, I have wondered that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I used to watch porn a lot. So, these questions definitely do run through your mind. Like, damn, are you a little gay if you could watch a straight couple just fucking on screen? Or, like, are you,
I mean, if you watch the trans fucking girl, it wouldn't make you feel weird. It almost looks natural.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it almost would look natural, I would wager. But again, I don't know for certain. I'm just asking the question. Oh, so
I've seen many of those. They're very hot. I watch many of those. It's not bad at all.
All right. So cancel me now, bitches. Like
cancel you for what? They want to cancel me.
Hey, look, they cancel you, they're canceling me, man.
Hey, man, listen. I recently put it down myself. Porn I think our time is done.
Yeah, I don't think, because it's so readily available, and at this point it's like, is it even that interesting anymore? Like, what more can you see after you've seen every porn act imaginable from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s that we have? You know what I'm saying? Like, Come on.
It's not, and it's not what it used to be.
No, a lot less hair now.
And the thing is, like you said, you brought up like women's like exploitation of women, and you look at it, you look at the game now. It used to be, no, forget about what it used to be. What it is now is that women are the ones controlling their exploitation. They're exploiting themselves at a much higher rate. Because you look at OnlyFans, it's like the monetized pimp or the monopolized pimp.
Sure, but there's
Where
no
middleman can come in and make their own money.
Right. There's no middleman for OnlyFans except for the company OnlyFans. Now the question is OnlyFans exploitation? And I would argue that maybe it is a little bit, but the question is,
absolutely,
are you exploited if you make the choice to be so, or is there mitigating factors that made you make this choice? You know what I'm saying? And at what point does manipulation fall into that? You know? And again, I don't have the answers because I'm not on OnlyFans, or if I am, it's just for my feet.
You can't tell you that it is exploitation at its finest. It's just exploitation, their choice.
Yeah.
Their freedom. You women
But
are like it's like please, with by all means, if this is what you want to do, come on in. Come on in and get some of this money with me. It's the ultimate pimp. It's pimping on a whole other level now.
All right, so I guess we can agree to we can say that it's a very nuanced argument, but we can agree that we're not watching porn much anymore, and it is very exploitative, and that is one of the reasons why. So there you go.
Do you feel like a better person?
Not really.
You didn't change?
Worse or better simply from watching porn or not. But I do think the amount of porn that I did watch, definitely I was addicted to it. I definitely think so. I think it was an addiction, and it was a cry for help in a way. You know what I'm saying? But I was single for a very long time. So to me, it was just a means to an end. You know what I mean? Like, it was a means for me to.
I've become so productive since.
Oh, I do pretty more work now that I don't do that I don't watch it as much.
I got so much shit going on right now.
You know what I mean? Like, it's weird, but it is an interesting query, and I guess I'll close out this episode with this question here. Is media to blame for the current state of the political? And we're going to go in a whole different section, a whole new direction on this question here. But how much blame?
I feel like I don't even need you to finish it, but go ahead.
How much blame does the media get? Should the media get for the amount of divisiveness in this country? 10%, 50%, 100%.
I'm gonna go 95.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 95. Media is the ultimate influence. It pretty much influences us in every way, shape, or form. To the point now where human beings are calling themselves influencers, and they're really just human beings on their own personal, like, you're watching them in their own personal time, living their life, quote unquote, trying to entertain us and calling themselves influencers. Okay. Using media for it. Media is more than just a newspaper now. You know, you have all types of access to media in your pocket. You know, you're glued. A lot of us are glued to this device to the point now where we slouch and our necks are just stuck like that.
Mm-hmm.
The other five, I have to say, would be like you said, your heritage or your household, your surroundings. They influence you. They influence you as well. Not so much anymore. Probably way more so when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm. We
Where
didn't have the media. We didn't have social media. We didn't have
yeah,
24-hour
media
news.
isn't on. It wasn't near the level that it used to be on, but it was still it was available in its own little way because I mean it's different because a lot of media that we digested was like through intellectual stuff we read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had to read a lot of stuff that you heard about.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
there's a difference
it was rare that you got in interviews. Interviews were like for the exclusive. You know,
right. But that's
other than that, you had to read everything. Magazines that were readily available. We had access to information. They get the most fucked up part is that with all of the outlets that are out there, you have all this misinformation.
yeah.
You know, which is part of the influence, which only you know what I'm saying, it led to a lot the lack of intelligence. Like I said, the media that was digested even before us was intellectual. You had to
Yeah.
read.
But
So
it was different because what we experienced, I think that's missing now, is genuine journalism as opposed to media. And I think the difference is a very, very integral aspect because journalism is defined as finding facts, verifying facts, and then presenting the facts so that you, the viewer or reader, can use your critical thinking to make informed decisions. Media tells you what to think and how to think it based on your team, your ideology, your you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? And that
yeah,
was the difference.
well,
That's the
because
difference.
it depends on how you define media because I think it's like it's just a mass collection of people uh delivering information, and it's just changed over time. So the way you see media now will be nothing the way you would consider media back then, but now its influence is just it's everywhere. It's completely it's unavoidable, and um you know with the shock value that the shock value and the intensity in which people are trying to uh display themselves
Yeah.
and or display others,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, yo, I don't want to hear you don't want to hear positive stories about people, you want to hear interesting stories about people,
And usually that's
whether
negative.
it's real or not. Even in it, like my basketball, it's been completely like my off season has been completely ruined. I get I get notifications every day on all of these supposed trades that you know what I'm saying. That just makes me want to click on it because I'm like, wow, what just happened? But then they throw the words proposed or you know
Right.
the rumor that you know what I'm saying.
Right. Right. Right.
It's not real. Why are you giving this to me? Why are you having me fantasize on something that is completely and utterly false or imaginative or made up? And
But you
this is media now.
you subscribe
It's
to
like making you think,
but
huh?
you just subscribe to it. You made the choice to subscribe to that thing that gives you the notifications about these rumors. You made the
No,
choice.
no. You have algorithms that make the choice for you. I can look at
don't you have to click I agree?
One time, and then they will throw in 10 more things that look just like that. And if I dare look at anything else like that, it will become 100. It's that whole multiplication from 1 to 10 and 10 to 100 and 100 to 1,000. That's how algorithms then shape your thought process. Because once you start, because all you have to do is look for something else.
Yeah.
Don't look at the same thing every day. If you look at something else, now your algorithm is going to change. It's just based on the type of things that they catch you with. Because then the way you worded it, making it seem like it was my choice.
Right. Because
in
you had
reality,
to click I agree to the terms and conditions.
My choice for me. I'm seeing things that I don't want to see.
but you clicked the I agree to the terms and conditions. You clicked it, which means you made the choice.
No.
How did you not? You made a choice when you clicked that.
They're making it for me. You didn't give me. I get it. You didn't give me. You gave me like So, like I was like just use it as an example. So, in Black Mirror, in Joan is Awful, when Selma Hayek is trying to be when they're trying to explain what it is that she signed up for,
right?
Her lawyer is telling her, well, you signed up for this thing, this Section 8 or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And he's like, well, there's nothing I could do about it. She's like, yo, you gave that to me.
Right.
It's your job to look over it and make sure that it's good or bad or not. As individuals, we are not fed all of the information inside those
well, who actually reads the terms?
Inside those terms and conditions is things that would probably turn a lot of people off.
Sure. But who actually reads the terms and conditions? I don't know anybody who's actually ever read the terms and conditions to anything. Like when you sign up for Google, or Apple, you may agree that somebody can just randomly come and punch you in the face if you click the wrong button one time. You don't know if you signed up for that or not.
You don't, which means it's not done. You haven't done that. The terms and conditions, although you are 100% correct, is that you signed up for it. It wasn't done in fairness. It doesn't mean it was right. It was if your terms and conditions do not mean the wellness of anybody that's trying to look at this thing or want to be a part of it, then it's wrong.
But
however you want to look at it and to exploit people like that with our interest in whatever it is that people are offering. It's just
so then here's the rub then. When you're watching TV, you don't get a choice to watch the terms and conditions. You kind of agree to the terms and conditions by watching that channel. You don't get a choice in what you see, but if you're gonna watch, I mean, you have cable, sure.
Just to show whatever show that you saw.
Like, for example, if you watch CNN or Fox News, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you turn to that channel, you are basically agreeing to the terms and conditions that you are going to be fed a load of bullshit. If you watch CNN, you're going to basically agree to the same thing. You are agreeing to be given a bunch of rhetoric and bullshit. You are agreeing to that by watching that channel. And in essence, all you have to do to break that terms and conditions is turn the channel. When it comes to social media, you don't really have that. You agree to the terms and conditions, and yes, you can kind of work the algorithm to suit your taste by, well, I don't want to see this, blocking this, that, and third. You kind of have that ability, but at the same time, you can't get rid of what everybody else is saying. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
You can delete whatever it is that you signed up for. You can delete it. You can sign out of it. You can unsubscribe it. You have
Right.
all the freedom in the world to not be a part of it.
Right. And that's my point. You have the right
The same effect of turning the channel.
but it's essentially turning the channel. But the difference is, I think, when it comes to social media and, you know, uh, journalistic media, is that, again, you're not told explicitly these are the terms and conditions of which you're signing up for when you watch this channel. You just kind of have to watch the channel and be like, oh, okay, this is what I get. You get what you watch. When it comes to social media, if you sign up for Facebook, you can read, if you take the time, you can read the terms and conditions and you can see what they do with your information. You can see what they do with your personal history. You can see what they do with your personal information, and you can agree or not to it. But I think, and I agree with you, 95%, about 95% of the divisiveness in this country comes from media. And whether we realize it or not, all media is owned and controlled by the same people.
Absolutely.
CNN and Fox News are owned by the same company.
They both deliver the same messages.
They deliver the same messages from a different perspective, so that it keeps you butting heads and fighting for no reason.
That's like where does the divisiveness come from? There's so many levels of divisiveness that's played out throughout media, and the other 5%, you could throw that in with heritage and journalistic media, because journalistic media is never. It's like cooking grits versus cooking instant grits. Regular grits used to take an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you make it in 5 minutes. These guys are delivering information instantly.
Right.
Instantly. The stuff that's actually curated and, you know what I'm saying, got all the information right, got the facts, got what's that called? Like references and all that stuff like that, to actually put out an article of importance that is relevant to whatever time it is, it becomes past tense.
Yeah.
By the time you
and I think a lot of times, the journalists have to trump, to use to coin a phrase.
No, you do.
They have to trump the internet and, the people who are tweeting about what's happening. Like, they kind of have to be attuned to that in real time. Otherwise, they get scooped by the person who's tweeting about it right then and there. You know what I'm saying? So
the beauty of it is that the art or the skill of of actual journalism has not lost. It hasn't lost its necessity, because once you do actually get that information, it does resonate way more than the misinformation that you get read and fed at a faster rate.
Yeah,
because we question the things that we see more times on the internet, and then when you get an actual well curated article or a story by a journalist, you feel better about it. You feel informed.
Yeah, but
that stuff still hasn't gone in. It's just like a mixtape. When somebody throws out their project or whatever, compared to when they tell you, yo, my album is coming out. I've been making this album for a couple of fucking months or a couple of years. I've been sitting on these records, you know what I'm saying? And when I deliver them, you're gonna love them. Versus, oh, I just put out this mixtape with a couple of songs that I had and put them together and gave them to you.
Yeah.
The album still resonate. You know what I'm saying? The information of journalism still, of media, the carefully crafted media, it still resonates, still has an effect. A lot of us still do respect the guidance that we get from our elders and from our heritage and stuff like that. But man, the way that things are divided with race, and even like appreciation days. You know what I'm saying? Parades.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, we so basically we're saying we can agree on that one. And I will say that there's a large swath of people who are not journalists. They are just media personalities. And I think that that's something that needs to be considered when we think about these answers. But that's going to be our show for the day in this new format of Agree to Disagree. So we want to thank you for joining us. Please, by all means, share your thoughts and opinions and ideas in the comments below. You can find Shaun Wallace on Instagram at
Mr. Soul 3000, MRSSOUL 3000.
And you can find me on Instagram as Frank_Starfire. I want to thank you ever so much for joining us. This has been Agree to Disagree. Like I said, leave it in the comments, like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. And we'll see you next time, baby.
Later, brother.
Yeah. Good, brother. I'll see you in a minute, sir. And we're gonna come up with more questions for the next time. And next time it might get a little bit more weird. Please, if you're gonna cancel me, do it the right way. And
hey, and if anybody wants to comment some questions that they want us to answer,
please
please put it up there. We would gladly answer whatever questions y'all want to answer.
Right. Leave it in the comments, put it on Instagram, send it to me on Twitter, find me on Facebook. We ain't hard to find. Shout them out, man. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what's on your mind, and we can agree.
I know my man Gomez got mad questions.
Oh shoot!
You better be on there. You better be in the comment section along with the rest of y'all. But you are. You better be in that comment section.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you, man. Y'all have a blessed one. All right.
All right, bro.
Peace, brother.